Thanks for staying with us. Legal counsel for the Mphephu Ramabulana royal family insists that Princess Masindi Mphephu does not meet the requirements to ascend to the Vhavenda king throne. Now, Masindi, who has been contesting the matter for years, believes she is the rightful heir to the throne that was occupied by her father, Tshimangadzo Mphephu Ramabulana, until his death in 1997. Her uncle, Toni Mphephu Ramabulana, descended to the throne after Masindi successfully interdicted his reign. Now, Princess Masindi Mphephu has told the court that her late mother, Fulufhelo Mphephu, was a dzekiso wife to her father. Now, this is a woman married for the king by the royal family. However, the Mphephu royal family's lawyer argues that Masindi's kingship rights collapsed when her father died. He says the royal family had the prerogative to choose Toni Mphephu Ramabulana as king, since 6 more witnesses, in fact, are expected to testify in the matter that will sit until Friday. And let's stay with this particular matter and speak to our reporter, Lutendo Bobodi, who has been following this particular case for us. Lutendo, we speak again. Thank you so much for your time again this afternoon. I mean, Princess Masindi, does not meet the requirements to ascend to the Vhavenda king throne. That's, of course, the defense that is being used, by those who are detracting her particular move or even ascension to this particular throne. What else did they say?
Yeah, well, quite interestingly, she insists that she meets all the requirements, all the key requirements to ascend that particular throne. She believes that she was born of a dzekiso wife. A dzekiso wife is a wife chosen for the king by the royal family. It doesn't matter whether she rose the king's boat, but he has to accept it because he has to accept the wife because she has to give birth to the next heir to the throne. And she believes that her mother, Fulufhelo, who's late now, was the dzekiso wife. And also she believes that her grandmother, Masindi, who she was named after, was also a dzekiso wife. And she also believes that Toni Mphephu Ramabulana's mother, Matamera, was not a dzekiso wife. And something quite interesting, particularly engrossing, is the fact that the Toni Mphephu Ramabulana, the family, the Mphephu royal family lawyers are arguing that she was born in 1992 and her father only became king in 1994. And in terms of customary law, then she does not qualify to ascend the throne because she was born before her father became a king. But she insisted that that customary law is subjective. It can change with time. And the fact that she was the only child born of a dzekiso wife, the only child of her father, Tshimangadzo Mphephu Ramabulana, born of a dzekiso wife, qualifies her basically to be the queen or to assume the kingship throne of the Vhavenda people.
It's quite interesting because this issue of a dzekiso wife, for example, is one that is interesting, especially when you look at how this whole story is unfolding. So what does it mean then, particularly when you look at what customary law says or culture dictates, when a dzekiso wife's child becomes a female instead of a male, as others would have maybe thought this would be a person fit to ascend the throne?
We, of course, like we said yesterday, we go back to the Constitution. What does the Constitution say? We understand that communities or traditional communities have the prerogative to develop their own customary laws. But those customary laws must be consistent with the Bill of Rights. And the Bill of Rights says you cannot violate people's rights because of their gender. So the dzekiso wife, if a child born of a dzekiso wife becomes female, the Constitution may guarantee her to assume that throne. But the customary law remains unwavering that a female person cannot assume the kingship role in particular.
So let's talk about the throne currently, because we have seen through different stories and through different updates that there is nobody who's currently seated on the throne right now who's occupying it. Yeah. What is the latest in that regard?
Yes, of course. First of all, Toni Mphephu Ramabulana could not have been king while there is contestation, so he had to descend the throne. And later on, they, of course, appointed David Mphephu to act as king, but that was interdicted by the court, and right now that particular seat is vacant. There is continued contestation, and that particular seat now is vacant. In essence, the Vhavenda people have no king as we speak now. Wangu.
So what does it mean then, Lutendo, especially because I remember at some points there was a story that was done by, the team where you are, that some of the workers who used to work for that particular, royal household were in fact in limbo, and they did not know if they'll ever go back or not, and they were worried about even the upkeep of, the homestead itself. So what's the latest there?
I'll have to go back and investigate that, but I remember that came out that the workers there were like in limbo, not knowing what is going on at the time. But I can tell you that the people there around the Mphephu royal family, or should I say the Mphephu royal council, still recognizes David Mphephu as the acting king, although legally he's not acknowledged or recognized as acting king, but the people and some of his subjects are still recognize him as their king.
And it's quite interesting because, you often hear about, historians who say that it's interesting that some of these matters, especially where royal families are concerned, are now finding themselves into the courts. And some believe that these are not the, the actual platforms for these matters to then be, ventilated in. But of course, as you say, the Constitution trumps all particular law. But let's speak about these 6 witnesses who we understand are due to testify. Do we have any idea who they are?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, of course, as you said, 6 witnesses that are supposed to be testifying throughout the course of this week, from now until Friday, because the case has been set from Monday to Friday. We understand that some of these witnesses will be from the royal family, the Mphephu royal family. We understand that David Mphephu might be called this week to testify. And I understand that now it has gone down to 5 witnesses because today Dr. Cindy Mnisi, who's now US based, was testifying virtually, and she was talking about, she was breaking down a customary law in terms of leadership.
Lutendo, one wishes to be a fly on the wall during these particular proceedings. It's quite an interesting court case. Thank you so much for wrapping the day for us. We'll hear from you tomorrow on what exactly happens here. That's my colleague there, SABC News reporter Lutendo Bobodi.